Record heat waves. Heat wave all over southern Europe, Italy, Spain, and Greece. And I hear that that's happening in the southwest, Phoenix, Arizona, California. All of these places are scorching. And where I am, which is like borders London and Hertfordshire, in a very nice area, has had a pretty we've had some warm days, but it's been a pretty mild, rainy, blustery July for the last few days. One of the rainiest, coolest Julys that I've ever experienced in the last few days. So anyway, let's get to the point. Is it true that Truth Justice has packed her bags because there's a new star, so to speak, on the block? She invested so many years. There's a plane flying over. I wish that wasn't the case. Sorry, guys. She invested so many years in AD, and did she finally realize that it was just not worth the time? That it wasn't worth the energy anymore? Because I realized that a long, long time ago. I remember the earlier days when I first started my channel, when I used to make my AD videos and I used to try and impart some wisdom on AD. And after a while, certainly after the countdown that didn't come to fruition, remember the TikTok? When that didn't come to fruition and AD was still here, I realized that doing that, making those kind of AD videos and that kind of AD content was just not worthy of my time anymore. And as more time went on, I realized that there wasn't going to be a court case. And, I've pretty much made my final video, and my final stance on that, But at the same time, I see what's going on within the community, the truth community. Like every few months, it becomes less members, and there's one new member that's getting a lot of attention because of the things that he's doing. I don't really care to mention him because I don't really watch him and I'm not really interested. And, I talk to people on both sides of the aisle. I don't take sides. I never have. I have my opinions, and like all humans, we tend to want to stick to people who have like-minded opinions to us. But I've spoken to people on both sides and still do. And like I said, I came to the conclusion long ago that there wasn't going to be a court case. And I think with the fact that Frankie made his basically donation fund or donation funds, he made them so public. He's put them on a public forum, on a public arena. And it's been a long time that this has been going on. And I think it's time now for Frankie to say yay or nay. Is there going to be a court case? I don't think there is going to be one, but at least speak. There's been a lot of back and forth between the two sides, the splinter groups. I think it's time for Frankie to open his mouth, break his silence and speak up and tell people who donated to him, who cared about him, and who care about Shanann. I think it's time he spoke up and, let people know what is going on, because we've had this back and forth going on. I've heard what JC's had to say, and Cartoon Lady, and I won't be speaking much about her ever, because we made a pact that we wouldn't speak about each other. And I want to not speak about her as much as I possibly can. There's been this back and forth, and now it's time, Frankie, I think, for you to speak up and let people know what's going on with your case. You've been talking about this for years. You've asked for public donations. And I think it's only fair to let people know where we're at, where you're at with all of this, to speak up, to come out and say something about what's going on and what's happening with this case, with this court case, with this case against AD. I think it's time, Frankie, for you to come out of the shadows. Be confident, be strong. I know that a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened regarding me since I've been on YouTube, but I'm not running and hiding from anything. I think it's time for you to speak up and say, is this going ahead or not? Are we going to keep this crowd justice running for 2 years? Is it just going to be perpetually opened? Or are you going to actually come out and say, whether this is happening or not. What is happening? Update people, tell people what's going on, tell people the status of everything, status of your case, whether it's happening or not. Whether it's happening or not, it doesn't even matter now. I've been saying there isn't going to be a court case for a long time, but you need to tell people what's going on, because when you put something on a public forum, it is only respectful, honorable, and the correct thing to do to let people know who have donated to you, who have invested time in you, to tell them what's going on. And I think that's what you need to do, Frankie. You need to tell people who have donated to you, who have been kind to you, who have cared about you, what is going on. Are you taking AD to the Old Bailey or to a court, or what is going on? Let people know. Let people know what's going on. It's time for you to speak.